Welcome to the deep dive, where we take a stack of information, your articles, your research, your notes, and, well, we distill it down into the most important nuggets of knowledge.
Hmm.
Think of it as your shortcut to being truly well-informed, with those surprising facts and insights that just kind of stick with
To
you.
help connect the dots, yeah.
Exactly.
And today we're embarking on a really um, a profound and impactful deep dive. We're looking at the disappearance and murder of 12-year-old Robin Samsoe.
Such a tragic case.
It truly is an unspeakable tragedy in itself, but Robin's case also became this critical pivot point, the catalyst, really, that ultimately led to unmasking one of America's most chilling serial predators, Rodney Alcala.
Right. It was like the linchpin that finally broke everything open.
Precisely. It revealed this hidden pattern of terror that had gone on for far too long.
So our mission today is to unpack that whole intricate timeline, look at the crucial breakthroughs, and consider the enduring legacy of this case. We're going to delve deep into the specific details, and these are drawn directly from a really comprehensive collection of sources you've provided us. Things like investigative files, trial transcripts.
FBI evidence logs,
Mhm.
meticulous forensic autopsy reports, which are quite detailed.
Wow, and personal interviews, too, with investigators and witnesses.
Yes, and victim impact statements, plus extensive historical news coverage from the time.
Okay, so you'll really get to understand how these seemingly small moments, like a single photograph taken on a sun-drenched beach, can actually unravel a decade of terror
Mm.
and push a justice system right to its very limits. It's a story not just of crime, but, relentless police work.
Oh, absolutely. And forensic science advancements that were critical.
Right, plus incredible family resilience and just that slow, grinding path toward accountability.
What's truly fascinating here, I think, beyond the immediate tragedy, is how the
Yeah.
meticulous work of investigators, and they were often facing the limitations of that era, pre-DNA for much of it, how that combined with the sheer resilience of a grieving family, and how they slowly but surely connected these seemingly disparate dots.
Pulling the threads together.
Exactly. It revealed this horrifying pattern of violence that had gone unpunished for far, far too long. This case is just a powerful illustration of how one person's suffering can eventually lead to justice for many others.
And force a reevaluation of how predators like this operate and how the system responds, or sometimes fails to respond.
That's right. So let's begin to unpack this complex narrative. A summer day interrupted. Robin Samsoe's final hours.
Okay, so we start on June 20th, 1979, Huntington Beach, California. The sources really paint this picture of, well, the quintessential Southern California summer day.
Yeah, you can almost feel it. Bright sunshine, the crash of the waves.
Seagulls, that feeling of endless possibility in the air.
Exactly. This is the world of Robin Christine Samsoe. Just a vibrant, carefree scene.
The kind of day that feels infinite, you know?
Yeah.
A perfect picture of childhood innocence, absolutely no hint of the darkness that was lurking just beneath the surface.
And Robin was just 12 years old. She was really on the cusp of embracing her passions.
How did the sources describe her?
They describe her as vibrant, athletic, just overflowing with life and energy. Her older brother, Robert, he actually called her his best friend.
Wow, that close.
Incredibly close. And her mother, Mary Ann Connolly, saw her as the glue that held their family together, a central bright force.
And this particular day, she was excited about something.
Yes, she was heading to what she considered her first day working at a local ballet studio. She was going to answer phones in exchange for lessons.
So it wasn't just a chore for her.
Not at all. It was a tangible step towards her dream of dance. A budding artist's journey starting right there.
The details from the family interviews really bring that morning to life, don't they?
They do. Robin with her sun-bleached hair, that bright, eager smile, and just that boundless energy only a 12-year-old on summer break seems to have.
And her mom, Marianne, saying goodbye.
Yeah, just a loving, almost routine reminder. Robin, sweetie, don't forget your ballet shoes, and be home by 4:30. Love you.
And Rob's reply.
Just full of that youthful exuberance. I won't, Mom. Love you too. Bye.
And then the sound of the bike bell?
Yeah, the jingle fading into the sounds of a typical suburban morning. Those were the last ordinary sounds of her childhood.
She was heading off to her best friend Bridget Wolvert's apartment first.
That's right. They planned to go to the beach from there.
Yeah.
Completely unaware, of course, of the horrifying encounter that lay just ahead.
So at the beach, Robin and Bridget were just being kids.
Exactly what 12-year-olds do on a glorious summer day. Playing, laughing, practicing cartwheels on the warm sand.
Just pure, unadulterated joy.
Totally lost in the simple pleasure of friendship and sunshine, a picture of innocent childhood.
And here is where the story shifts, dramatically.
Yeah,
The sources recount this moment. A shadow falls across them.
literally. A man approached them. The source material describes him quite vividly. Thin, with curly dark hair, and crucially.
Carrying a camera.
Yes. He seemed friendly, harmless, almost charming. He smiled, projecting this air of casual professionalism yet designed to disarm.
What did Bridget specifically recall about how he acted?
Well, Bridget's recollection, which is detailed in the investigative files, it emphasizes his initial approach was calculatedly benign, very smooth.
He had a story ready.
Oh yeah. Introduced himself as a photographer, claimed he was working on a project about California youth, plausible enough on a busy beach.
And then he flattered them.
Praised their energy and natural grace, appealing to that youthful vanity. Then asked if he could take a few pictures, promising it would only take a minute.
And Robin?
Robin, maybe a little hesitant, but definitely flattered by the attention, she agreed. Said something like, "Pictures of us. Sure, I guess."
But Bridget was more cautious.
Much more wary. Her response was just a simple, cautious, okay. She sensed something was off. Kids often have that instinct, don't they?
They do. And you can almost hear it in the sources, that distinct click whir of the old SLR camera capturing those moments, freezing them in time.
But Bridget's instincts, they just kept prickling. She later recalled the man's focus as unnervingly intense, predatory.
Wow. Not just looking, but staring.
Exactly. A subtle but profound shift in his demeanor. A flicker in his eyes that maybe only a child's heightened sensitivity would pick up on. It was like a primal warning that something was deeply wrong beneath that charming surface.
And that detail from Bridget must have been critical for investigators later.
Absolutely. It helped them understand not just what happened, but the chilling atmosphere of that encounter.
And then someone interrupted.
Yes, a crucial, though tragically temporary, lifeline emerged. A neighbor, Jackie Young, appeared from the dunes.
Just checking on them.
Yeah, asking, with a tone of concerned normalcy, "Bridget, Robin, everything all right over here?"
And the effect was immediate.
The sources highlight it clearly. The camera click stopped abruptly, the spell was broken, and the man, Rodney Alcala, he just melted away, vanished as quickly and stealthily as he'd appeared, back into the beach crowd.
But that intervention, even though brief, gave police another witness.
Critical witness testimony, yes.
So, shaken by this, Robin and Bridget decided to leave the beach.
Immediately, they headed back to Bridget's apartment. Robin was running late for her ballet class.
Right, the reason she was out.
And Bridget, out of concern and urgency, insisted Robin take her bicycle because it was faster.
Oh, that detail is heartbreaking.
It is. Bridget's last words to her best friend were this poignant warning, full of innocent concern. "Here, take my bike. It's faster." And Robin, "Don't stop. Just go straight to class." "Okay."
And Robin promised?
"Thanks, Bridge. I won't stop. Promise. See you later."
And that sound of the bicycle.
Pedaling away, growing fainter and fainter, fading into the distance and then into silence. That was the last time anyone ever saw Robin Samsoe alive.
A promise made and then broken.
Devastatingly, irrevocably broken. And that detail provided by Bridget was a crucial anchor point for the investigation. It gave police a specific time frame and her last known direction of travel.
So fast forward a bit. 3:15 p.m. The ballet studio calls Marianne Connolly.
Yes. Robin hadn't arrived.
And the panic must have been instantaneous.
Immediate and visceral. A cold dread. The personal interviews capture Marianne's rising fear. Not there. But she left Bridget's hours ago. On the bike, she promised she'd go straight there. Something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong.
Every parent's absolute worst nightmare unfolding right there on the phone.
A horrifying realization that her daughter was truly missing. The Connolly family immediately mobilized, just driven by frantic, desperate hope.
Her brothers.
Tim and Robert, yeah. They grabbed their own bikes and just scoured every familiar path, every alley, every possible shortcut between the beach and the studio.
Calling her name.
Frantically calling her name, their young voices echoing with increasing desperation in the darkening streets. It was that initial, instinctual search families did back then, before Amber Alerts and widespread digital communication.
And as dusk fell, the police were called.
A missing child report was filed. Description went out. Blonde, blue-eyed, 12 years old, last seen near the pier.
And the community rallied.
Oh yeah, an outpouring of support, plastering flyers with Robin's smiling face on telephone poles, combing beaches and neighborhoods, searchlights cutting through the darkness.
But the hours turn into days.
And as the hours bled into days, that fragile flame of hope, held so tightly by her family and the community, it just began to flicker, threatening to extinguish completely. The news archives from that time really show the immediate impact Robin's disappearance had on the entire Huntington Beach community. 2. The Shadow Falls, Disappearance and Discovery.
12 agonizing days later, July 2nd, 1979.
The worst, most dreaded fears were grimly confirmed. A U.S. Forest Service Ranger, Dana Crappa, was on routine patrol.
Where was this? Somewhere remote.
Very remote, navigating a hiking trail in the rugged Sierra Madre foothills, specifically near Santa Anita Canyon Road, a secluded, sparsely traveled area, far from the beaches of Huntington.
A deliberate choice for concealment by the killer.
Absolutely.
And the FBI evidence logs, the investigative files, they recount the ranger's radio call.
Yes, very tense, very professional, stripped bare of emotion, yet just heavy with implication. Base, this is Unit 7. I've found remains.
Oh, God.
Off the main trail, down in a ravine, small, juvenile female, requesting immediate backup and coroner.
That's stark clinical language. It can't mask the horror.
Not at all.
What were the initial challenges for the forensic team there, given the location and the time that had passed?
That's a critical point. The conditions were difficult. The forensic autopsy reports detail the scene. In dense, concealing brush, partially obscured, camouflaged by nature, lay Robin Samsoe's decomposed body.
Unspeakable.
The scene, as described by the coroner, was one of unspeakable violations, a stark contrast to the innocent life she'd lived. The fictionalized Dr. Marsh's findings, based on the actual autopsy reports, were chillingly precise.
What did they find?
Remains identified as Robin Christine Samsoe. Evidence of massive blunt force trauma to the cranium, ligature marks consistent with strangulation, signs of sexual assault.
Was a weapon found?
Yes. A single-edged knife found nearby, likely the murder weapon.
And the decomposition, the environment, that complicated things.
Immensely. The report explicitly noted that animal scavenging complicated the scene, adding another layer of grimness and difficulty. It made precise time of death determination and soft tissue analysis particularly challenging.
But the violence was still clear.
Unequivocal. Meticulous bone analysis revealed the extent of the blunt force trauma. The specific patterns of the ligature marks provided clear evidence of strangulation, even on a decomposed body.
This discovery just must have shattered the Samsoe family, hope turning into overwhelming grief.
Completely. And it also galvanized the investigation. It shifted immediately from a missing child case into a brutal homicide.
And the key lead, the only real thread they had.
Pointed directly back to that enigmatic man with the camera on the beach. A lead now infused with the grimmest urgency. 3. The net closes. Identifying the predator.
Okay, so based on the descriptions from Bridget Wilver and Jackie Young, the friend and the neighbor who saw him on the beach.
Right. Police sketch artists meticulously created a composite drawing of the photographer.
A facial reconstruction based purely on their memories. Can you tell us more about how that worked back in 1979 and what specific details were so valuable?
Absolutely. I mean, this was before sophisticated digital tools. Composite sketches relied entirely on the artist's skill and the witness's memory precision.
So Bridget and Jackie's accounts were key.
Invaluable. The sources highlight they went beyond just general features. Bridget was particularly strong on the man's intense predatory gaze. The artist tried to capture that coldness in the eyes.
And Jackie, the neighbor.
She provided crucial details on his dark curly hair, his thin build, and even the specific type of SLR camera he was carrying. These small details, often overlooked, were precisely what gave the sketch its accuracy.
So this face, now a person of interest, was circulated widely.
Yes, distributed to patrol officers, detectives, and in a critical stroke of investigative luck, to parole offices across the region. That broad distribution strategy, while standard, was especially effective here.
And this is where Alcala's parole officer comes in, Officer Michaels, as the source calls him.
Exactly. He was attending a routine briefing about the Huntington Beach homicide, the Samsoe case. High profile, tragic, everyone was aware of it.
And during this briefing, he sees the sketch.
He encounters the composite sketch. Just a simple drawing, but one that would unlock a nightmare.
Can you picture that moment? Michael's reviewing the sketch.
Taking in the details, dark curly hair, thin build, the camera. Then that sharp intake of breath, a jolt of recognition.
Not visceral reaction.
Almost. The sources describe it that way. He realizes, with dawning horror, my God, that's Rodney Alcala. It's him.
And the pieces just click into place.
With terrifying precision, he instantly connects the dots. Alcala isn't just some vague suspect. He's on Michael's caseload, a registered sex offender with a documented history of violent tendencies.
And the detail that always stuck with Michaels.
He's always with that damn camera. It was this chilling moment of recognition that finally put a name and a face to the predator, gave investigators their prime suspect.
It also really highlights a systemic gap back then, doesn't it?
It really does. Despite Alcala's known history, his parole status, it'd take a chance encounter with a sketch for him to be linked to this specific crime. It shows the limitations of interagency communication and data sharing in that era.
So Michaels understood the gravity immediately.
Wasted no time. Contacted Huntington Beach PD and LAPD right away. Triggered a rapid escalation in the investigation.
So the name Rodney Alcala already known to law enforcement.
Due to prior convictions, his parole status, yeah. But now it had a direct, undeniable, chilling link to the Samsoe murder.
He became the prime suspect, his reign of terror finally starting to unravel.
In Alcala, this predator used to slipping through the cracks. He knew the net was tightening.
He tried to change his appearance.
Took immediate steps, cut his distinctive curly hair, trying to alter that recognizable silhouette, a common tactic.
Became restless.
Anxious energy, yeah. But strangely, he didn't flee far. Maybe underestimated the forces closing in. That decision would be his undoing.
So exactly 1 month after Robin vanished.
A date made even more poignant because it was Mary Ann Connolly's birthday. Investigators moved in. July 24th, 1979.
Where did they find him?
At his parents' house in Monterey Park, a place he probably felt was safe, beyond suspicion. Rodney Alcala was apprehended.
Not just an arrest, but a small victory.
A small, significant victory for law enforcement. A momentary reprieve, maybe, for a grieving mother, but truly just the start of a much longer, much harder battle for justice.
And the arrest itself, the sources describe it vividly.
Oh, yes. A door crashing open, heavy boots, shouts of LMB, hands where we can see them. Sudden, forceful, designed to overwhelm.
And Alcala's reaction?
Chillingly calm. A testament to his practiced deception, his composure under pressure. He denied everything. Cool, collected.
What did he say?
Robin Samsoe. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is a terrible mistake. I was at Knott's Berry Farm that day, interviewing for a job.
An immediate alibi attempt.
Delivered calmly, but almost immediately undermined by the evidence investigators had already gathered. It was characteristic of his manipulative personality, but the facts were stacking up against the practiced liar. 4. Unmasking the monster. The evidence mounts. Crucially, after Alcala's arrest, police got a warrant for a storage locker he'd rented under an alias in Seattle.
Seattle. Way up there.
Yeah, and what they found inside wasn't just clutter. It was a trove of damning evidence, a chilling archive of his secret life.
And this would become central to unraveling everything.
Absolutely, connecting him to a far wider pattern of violence than anyone had previously imagined.
What does source material say about the contents? The sheer volume.
Hundreds of photographs, over 1,000 in total, meticulously organized. It was horrifying.
What do they depict?
A chilling array of subjects, women, girls, boys, some smiling, posing, clearly unaware of the predator behind the lens, others nude. Many looking distinctly uneasy, their expressions hinting at coercion or discomfort.
Staged portraits, candid shots.
Both. A deeply disturbing collection that spoke volumes about his predatory nature. His obsession not just with the violence, but with capturing and reliving his control over victims through these macabre trophies.
And then, amidst all this, the ultimate discovery.
Yes. Documented in the FBI evidence logs. A detective described his disbelief turning to just grim realization.
What did he say?
Jesus Christ. Well, look at this one. It's her. It's Robin Samsoe.
Oh my God, on the beach.
On the beach. Alive. Smiling at the camera. Taken just hours.
Oh.
Just hours before he killed her.
A visual confession.
Chillingly so. Undeniable direct evidence. A macabre trophy preserved in his collection. A silent witness to his depravity.
And this photograph, taken by Alcala himself,
placed Robin with him exactly at the time she disappeared. Cemented his guilt. Validated the eyewitness accounts from the beach.
That kind of photographic evidence must have been incredibly rare and powerful back then.
Profoundly impactful in solidifying the case, especially before widespread DNA use.
But there was more than just the photo in that locker.
Yes. A seemingly small, but incredibly significant piece of physical evidence. A pair of gold-colored ball earrings.
Earrings.
And Marianne Connolly, Robin's mother, would later testify in court. She identified them not just as similar to, but identical to the pair she had personally given Robin.
A cherished gift.
A deeply personal item. An irrefutable link.
And Alcala tried to explain them away.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ever the cunning manipulator. During the trial, he claimed the earrings are his.
His?
Yeah, even produced a clip from his infamous dating game appearance where he wore similar ones, trying to sow doubt about where they came from. Classic Alcala maneuver.
Twisting facts to fit his narrative.
Exactly. But the powerful combination, the photograph showing Robin wearing those very earrings on the beach right before she disappeared, plus her mother's heartbreaking, undeniable testimony. It was devastating evidence against his claim.
The jury had no doubt.
No doubt at all. These were Robin's earrings, a trophy taken by her killer.
And even behind bars, Alcala couldn't contain his sadistic pride.
His monstrous ego, yeah. Unchastened by arrest, he boasted about his crimes to fellow inmates.
Providing more evidence against herself.
Exactly. One inmate, Fred Williams, later testified in court, recounting Alcala's disturbing comments, gave a chilling glimpse into the killer's mind, offered critical, if unsettling, corroboration for the prosecution.
What did Williams say Alcala boasted about?
Well, one instance, Alcala returned from court smirking, bragging about how the police struggled during demonstrations in court.
Struggled with what?
Specifically, how investigators had difficulty demonstrating how Bridget's bicycle, the one Robin borrowed, could fit into his car during their courtroom presentations.
And Alcala mocked them.
Yeah, said, "Those guys look like a bunch of morons. I threw that bike in with no trouble at all."
Confirming he handled the bike, a detail only the killer would know.
Precisely. Inadvertently solidifying the prosecution's case.
And then there was something even more horrific Williams revealed.
A truly chilling detail. Unveiled the depths of his depravity. Williams recalled another time they were looking at a pornographic picture, a dirty picture as he called it.
Oh, okay.
And Alcala just casually pointed and said, "She's nothing like Robin was. Robin kicked and clawed like a wildcat."
Oh, God. The casualness, the comparison.
And then the sudden, stark confession of Robin's struggle. It was beyond disturbing. It spoke to this perverse pleasure he derived from the act itself.
Kicked and clawed like a wildcat.
That chilling boast, uttered by Alcala himself, revealed in prison, exposed the true sadistic nature of the monster. It wasn't remorse. It was pride in the suffering he inflicted.
It paints this harrowing picture of a 12-year-old girl fighting for her life.
Against a predator who then took sadistic pride in her struggle, even years later. That single statement, more than maybe anything else, offered a direct window into the dark, twisted satisfaction Alcala derived from his horrific acts.
Underscoring his complete lack of empathy, his psychopathy.
Absolutely. It solidified the sheer brutality of the crime for the jury. V. The lingering echoes. Justice and legacy.
So, Robin Samsoe's murder. An unspeakable tragedy shattered a family, scarred a community. But tragically, pivotally, it was also the break investigators desperately needed.
The break that unmasked a serial killer who'd evaded justice for far too long.
That photograph from the locker, the gold ball earrings, the witness identifications from Bridget and Jackie, the inmate testimony, it was the convergence of all that evidence.
That finally, irrefutably pinned the chameleon-like Alcala down.
What was it about that specific combination of evidence that made it so uniquely powerful, especially back then?
That's a really key question. What made it so powerful was its sheer variety and how it all corroborated each other. Before widespread DNA, linking serial offenders was often a huge struggle. You relied heavily on MO similarities, maybe geographic proximity.
Right, more circumstantial link.
Exactly. The Samsoe case had eyewitnesses, unique physical evidence like the earrings, and Alcala's own trophy photographs. That photo of Robin, alive, on the beach, that was a direct, irrefutable link that just bypassed all circumstantial arguments.
It showed him with the victim at the crime scene hours before her death.
Precisely. It wasn't just a puzzle piece. It was like the picture on the top of the box. This case allowed investigators to finally connect the dots across multiple jurisdictions, something they previously lacked the specific, undeniable physical evidence to do.
And even years later, people remembered Robin so vividly, her ballet instructor.
I remembered her focus, her innate grace, her surprisingly mature understanding of the discipline and beauty of the movement.
And that Tuesday, June 20th, the day she was so excited to start her job.
Her spot at the bar remained empty, a silent, poignant monument to a life stolen so abruptly, her absence echoed, a void that could never be filled.
Robin's death didn't just bring justice for her, though. It exposed the horrifying scope of Alcala's crimes.
Catastrophically exposed it, revealing him as a prolific serial killer. Her stolen grace, her tragic fate, became this unexpected catalyst.
The thing that finally unmasked the predator hidden behind the camera, the charm.
And, agonizingly, the glaring failures of the justice system for over a decade. Her case brought this pattern of violence to light, fundamentally shifting how law enforcement viewed and pursued these types of cases.
So Alcala was charged with Robin's kidnapping and murder. For Marianne Connolly, that must have been just a mix of grim relief and bottomless grief.
Absolutely. She had vowed to see justice done, and that vow was strengthened by an almost unimaginable moment revealed in the personal interviews.
What happened?
The source tells us that when Alcala was first brought into court, right after he took her Robin, Marianne had a gun in her purse.
No. Really?
Yes, she was going to kill him right there in the courtroom, just 20 feet away.
Wow.
But she felt Robin there, like a spiritual presence, telling her no, that wasn't Robin's way. So with this almost superhuman act of restraint and faith, she put the gun away, put her faith in the courts.
Believing in the system, no matter how flawed. That's incredible strength.
Extraordinary moral courage. And it was pivotal. Her commitment to letting the legal system work, despite her unbearable pain and that urge for vengeance, it became a cornerstone for the prosecution's ability to pursue justice methodically.
Little did she know it lay ahead.
Little did she know that act of faith would usher in a battle lasting not just years, but decades. The arrest for Robin's murder, the investigation, it opened the floodgates for other cold cases.
Right, the LA County prosecutors.
Exactly. Now armed with new forensic techniques like early DNA evidence and seeing the chilling pattern revealed by the Samsoe investigation, they re-examined those unsolved murders. Jill Barkham, Georgia Wixted, Charlotte Lamb, Joe Parenteau.
And this re-examination was a turning point in cold case investigation.
A critical one. It wasn't just reviewing files, it was applying cutting-edge science to old evidence. Things like mitochondrial DNA testing in the late 90s, that was a game changer.
How so?
It allowed analysis of really degraded samples, like hair shafts or tiny bone fragments, stuff that might have yielded nothing before. For cases decades old, where primary DNA might be lost, a few hairs found at a scene could now finally be linked to a suspect.
So they went back to the evidence logs from those other murders.
And made connections that were simply impossible in 1979. That's how DNA and other irrefutable evidence eventually tied Alcala to those additional crimes, leading to multiple death sentences years later. Confirmed him as one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history.
But securing justice just for Robin, that first case, it was an ordeal.
Agonizingly tortuous, decades long. His first conviction and death sentence for her murder in 1980, overturned on appeal.
A crushing blow for the family. Why was it overturned?
According to trial transcripts, largely due to prosecutorial error. Specifically, how they introduced evidence of Alcala's prior crimes. It violated rules of evidence meant to ensure a fair trial for the specific charge at hand.
And then it happened again.
Heartbreakingly, yes. Overturned again in 2003. This time, based on a federal court ruling about errors in jury instructions and the admissibility of character evidence.
So each retrial forced Marianne Connolly and her family to relive everything.
The nightmare of Robin's last moments, their profound loss. It just highlights the staggering emotional, psychological, even financial cost of pursuing final justice against a manipulative, relentless defendant.
It's a testament to their unwavering determination, a marathon of grief and resilience.
Truly.
So what we've explored today, it's not just a tragic story of a young life cut short. It's really a profound testament to how meticulous investigation, combined with that tireless, decades-long pursuit of justice,
can ultimately bring even the most cunning and elusive serial killer to account, even after years of evasion and a complex legal maneuvering.
The Robin Samsoe case serves as this poignant reminder, doesn't it? That even from the deepest, most crushing grief, a breakthrough can emerge.
And that breakthrough, in turn, impacted countless other lives by bringing their perpetrators to justice, finally bringing some measure of closure, however incomplete, to those left behind.
It underscores that profound interconnectedness of seemingly disparate cases and just the relentless spirit of justice.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for you, listening? Perhaps it prompts you to consider the immense, often unsung value of diligent witness testimony.
Or the quiet, persistent work of law enforcement parole officers connecting those seemingly disparate dots.
And how forensic science, over time can really solve what once seemed completely unsolvable.
And this raises, I think, an important question. What does it mean for a community when justice for just one victim takes decades to achieve, enduring multiple appeals, retrials?
Right. And how does that relentless pursuit of accountability shape our collective understanding of resilience, perseverance, and that enduring quest for fairness in our legal system, pushing it to evolve and adapt?
Food for thought, definitely.
Until next time, remember Robin's smile, remember her cartwheels on the sand, and remember the immeasurable cost of a predator's freedom and the unwavering fight for every victim to be remembered and avenged. This has been The Deep Dive.